Just yesterday, Congress was patting itself on the back for passing the long-awaited pandemic relief package that provides unemployment benefits as well as stimulus checks and, by the way, keeps the government funded. That bill is now in jeopardy after President Trump suggested he may not sign it.
I am asking Congress to amend this bill and increase the ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. I'm also asking Congress to immediately get rid of the wasteful and unnecessary items.
In addition to demanding last-minute changes, the president also issued a wave of controversial pardons. Bloomberg's Anna Edgerton is following the Trump administration's final days and has more now. So, Anna, President Trump is pushing for bigger payments that his own senators, Republican senators, are opposed to. What's your read on the president's play here?
You know, it's really hard to see what the end game is. I mean, we knew all along that Trump wanted larger stimulus checks, but he had Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin in the room negotiating for him, and Mnuchin kind of gave his okay for these $600 checks. Asking for more, asking for $2,000 really aligns Trump with Democrats, especially progressives who have said that Americans need at least $2,000 to get through this stage of the pandemic crisis. And so this latest move by Trump really puts a lot of pressure on Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to see whether he's going to side with progressives or with the president.
Yeah, and of course, Speaker Nancy Pelosi totally capitalizing on that as well, right? I mean, she's urging Republicans to consider this increase to the one-time payment. Have we heard anything from the Republican side? How are they responding? How are they scrambling?
Yeah, we just heard from, well, we heard from from House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. He spoke to Republicans in a private call just about an hour ago, and we spoke with people who were on the call. He said that Pelosi's attempt tomorrow to seek unanimous consent for basically a standalone bill that would increase the stimulus checks to $2,000 from $600. McCarthy said that attempt on the House floor tomorrow is going to fail. He didn't say how it will fail, but Pelosi needs McCarthy's agreement to put anything on the floor for unanimous consent. So a few procedural things there, but McCarthy's trying to cast this as a political stunt by Democrats, even though it's giving the president what he asked for.
Exactly. Either way, Anna, time is running out. The deadline here for the president to sign the bill is Monday at 11:59 p.m. He can either sign it, he can veto it, or I guess he could do nothing. What happens next, assuming that he does any of those things?
Yeah, so if he does nothing and Congress doesn't adjourn, which Congress has not adjourned yet because they still have pro forma sessions, even though lawmakers aren't in town. So now if Trump does nothing, the bill becomes law after 10 days. But we are just 10 days away from the start of a new Congress. So if this current Congress, the 116th Congress, has to adjourn in order to make way for the 117th Congress that begins on January 3rd, that would be a pocket veto. So that could kill the bill. So we're running up against a lot of different kind of a web of deadlines here because we also have pandemic relief that was passed in March, things like an eviction moratorium that expire on December 31st. So you know, we have the pandemic relief, the government funding, the end of the Congress, the possibility of government shutdown, and it's all really coming to a head here in the next few days.
Absolutely. So stepping back from all these procedural issues, what does this mean for the average American who's waiting for financial aid, that $600 check or the $2,000 check, enhanced jobless benefits, and also waiting for, to get the vaccine or being put on the waiting list to get the vaccine?
Yeah, it's a really frustrating moment, and it just kind of confirms the suspicion that a lot of Americans have about what happens in Washington. Light as many fires as he can on his way out the door because, you know, he is trying to appeal to his base and saying that this dysfunction is the fault of Congress. But he's really a large part of that because he didn't participate in the negotiations to get this bill and now he's making after the fact demands.
Right, exactly. He's jumping in after everything had been agreed to.
The biggest stories the moment they happen from around the globe. Subscribe to Bloomberg Quick Take now for insight in an instant.